Hello everyone, my name is H.ALKRTY. Today I will give you a short presentation on crime prevention and criminal justice. This is our topic today. This topic has been divided into few sections. The first section is going to be about the crime prevention, then crime justice reform, which include police reform, prosecution service, judiciary, the court, access to the legal defense and legal aid, prison reform, an alternative to imprisonment, and the last one is going to be about the restorative justice, which means renew or something that make the thing even better. Okay, the third section is going to be about the promotion and protection of human rights, which is part of the crime prevention. And the fourth section is about the United Nations standard and norm in crime prevention and criminal justice. The fifth section is about thematic, or the theory of programs and project on crime prevention and criminal justice. The last one is going to be about just figures or statistics and surveys about the status of the criminal and criminal justice around the world. In the last page, I have placed some link for those people who are interested to get more information about the topic, which is the crime prevention and criminal justice. Okay, if you are ready, let's get started. Okay, this is the first slide here about crime prevention. The United Nations on Drug and Criminals, or on crimes, had the mission or the aim of making the world safe from crime, drug, and terrorism. So it's very important to feel safe and to to enjoy the secure and safety. It's very important. To be effective and sustainable response to this threat must include strategies covering the following areas: crime prevention, compromise strategies, and measures that seek to reduce the risk of crimes occurring and their potential harmful effect on individuals and societies, including fear of crimes by intervening or to influence their multiple causes. So it's very important to the government or the authority has to make sure the society or the community, or as the person, as an individual, to feel safe and to not to feel fear. So that's why is the police and the authority in as general has a potential role to prevent crime prevention in the community, or on individuals, or in the society as wholes. Okay, we're still in the crime prevention section. So the introduction to the guideline for the prevention of crime indicate that there is clear evidence that well-planned crime prevention strategy not only prevent crime and victimization, but also prompt community safety and contribute to sustainable development of the countries. It's basically, and it's very clear that if there is no safety and secure, there is no development for humans, and we're going to have more victims, and if we don't prevent this such crime. So prevention is very important, because when the crimes occur, can cause the government and the society a lot of things. For example, it can cost money and can affect the society as whole. So it's very important for the community safety and contribute to the sustainable development of countries. And effective, responsible crime prevention enhance the quality of life of all citizens, and that's true. So prevention is better than cure, because when something happens, we have to find solution for how to to cure the thing, but we shouldn't let it happen in the first place. It's very important in the first place. For example, in terms of terrorists, if you know there is some people that the police have to do their job to prevent the community from any terrorism act or something like that. So it's very important to prevent it in the first place. That's what we're talking about right now. It has long-term benefit. Prevention of crime or crime prevention, it has a long-term benefit in terms of the reducing the cost associated with the formal criminal justice system. For example, let me give you a clear example. If somebody committed a murder or manslaughter or something like that, or assault or rape, sexual assault, whatever crime somebody has committed, this person has to, it will cost the society a lot of money. How? The police has to come and they use the resource of the police. He has to go to the custody, and the police has to do his their paperwork, and this cost this times. They use the resource. After that, he will spend some time in custody before he go to court. And while he's in custody, he needs attention. He needs like somebody to look after him or to guard him. And this police being paid money because of this criminal person. After that, this person will go to, he will, if he get convicted or being charged by the police, he will go to the court. And the court, you have judge, you have other people that assist in the judge, and you have the police, and there is electricity, and there is all this sort of thing, and all this because of this criminal person. After that, if he being sent to jail or to prison, let's see that 10 years terms or 5 years terms. That's while he's in prison, he needs medical attention, he needs food, he needs, and so that's how the criminal or the crimes can cost a lot of money. So when we do crime prevention, it has a long-term benefit in terms of reducing the cost associated with the formal criminal justice system, as well as other social costs that result from crime. Yeah, what do you mean by social costs? For example, if this person has family or has like wives and children, all these children and his wife or his or her husband will affect by his act. So this is just a very simple example. All right, crime prevention. Recognizing the multiple causes of crimes as the custodian of the United Nations standard and norm in crime prevention and criminal justice. The United Nations on Drug and Crimes prompt strategies, plan and programs which are multi-sectoral, multidisciplinary, and which favor civil society participation. Such strategies and action plans are underpinned by the basic principle of the prevention of crime. Very obvious. Crime prevention, government leadership has to play a significant role. All levels is required to create and maintain an an institutional framework for effective crime prevention. Socio-economic development and inclusion refer to need to integrate crime prevention into relevant social and economic policies, and to focus on the social integration of at-risk communities, children, families, and youth. Cooperation and partnership between government, ministries and authorities, civil society organizations, the business sector, and private citizens are required given the wide-ranging nature of causes of crime and the skills and responsibility required to address them. We still in crime prevention. Sustainability and accountability can only be achieved if adequate resource or enough resource to establish and sustain programs and evaluation are made available, and clear accountability for funding, implementation, evaluation, and achievement of planned result is established. Knowledge-based strategies, policies, and programs need to be based on a broad multidisciplinary foundation of knowledge, together with the evidence regarding specific crime problems, and their cause and their proven practices. Human rights, rule of law, culture of lawfulness, the rule of law, and those human rights which are recognized in international instruments to which member states are parties must be respected in all aspects of crime prevention and culture of lawfulness actively prompted. Crime prevention, interdependency that refer to the need for a national crime prevention, diagnosis, and strategies to take into account, where appropriate, the link between local crime problem and international organized crimes. The principle of differentiation calls for crime prevention strategies to pay due regard to the different needs of men and women, and consider the specific need of vulnerable members of society. Criminal justice reform. This is the second section, is about reform. When we talk about reform, we talk about police reform, we talk about the prosecution reform, we talk about court reform, we talk about access to the legal defense and legal aid, prison reform and alternative to imprisonment, and restorative justice. Okay, we'll talk about each of them individually as follows. The first one is going to be about police reform. So the complexity of the role police have in law enforcement should not be underestimated. The police are entrusted with a diverse set of tasks to maintain peace and security and the rule of law. In most countries, police are given extensive power to enforce the law, and they play an important role in the criminal justice system, although the nature, quality, and underlying doctrine of the law varies between countries. In some countries, the police are direct instrument of government policy and extension of ministerial authority. In others, they have a more independent role. In either case, the police must be accountable for the way in which they exercise the powers entrusted to them. Criminal justice reform. Okay, the second one is going to be about prosecution service. It's very important. Public prosecutors play a unique role in criminal justice system as they appear on behalf of the government as representative of the people during a trials. This role differ from that of defense lawyers who represent persons accused of crime. A public prosecutor is obligated to uphold the rule of law and to ensure the accused receives fair trials. Miscarriages of justice damage the integrity of criminal justice system and violated public trust. Therefore, it's imperative that public prosecutors protect the right to a fair trial. The third one of the criminal justice reform is the judiciary, the court. The judiciary plays an important role in stabilizing the balance of power with government and in enhance public confidence in the government. The right to a competent, independent, and impartial tribunals in articulated in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 10, and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Article 14, as well as in the regional treaties and convention. So recognizing the essential role played by the competent, independent, and impartial judiciary in the protection of human rights and fundamental freedom, in 1985, the 7th United Nations Congress on the Prevention of Crimes and Treatment of Offenders adopted, and the General Assembly endorsed the basic principle on the independence of judiciary. It's very important, the separation of power in the countries or in the state. The fourth one about in terms of criminal justice reform is access to legal defense and legal aid. International human rights instruments recognize that when a person's fundamental right to life and liberty are put at risk by the state, the person has a right to legal assistance to ensure that the state properly fulfill. So it's very important for a person to access to legal assistance. So fulfill its obligation imposed by law without violating the right of the individual in the process. As a result, the 8th United Nations Congress on the Prevention of Crime and the Treatment of Offenders adopted in 1990s. The United Nations Basic Principle on the role of lawyers, making it its first principle the following: all persons are entitled to call upon the assistance of lawyer of their choice to protect and establish their rights and to defend them in all stage of criminal proceeding. So the basic principle further place responsibility upon the government and the legal professional to ensure that everyone has access to counsel, regardless of means or background, to protect the right to equality before the law. Is very important. Everyone has to receive a fair, impartial treatment before the court of law. Is very important. Otherwise, people will lose trust and confidence on the legal system in the country, and there is many countries like that. So we're still in criminal justice reform. The fifth one is about prison reforms and alternative imprisonment. In most countries of the world, detention and imprisonment are the main measures imposed on individuals who are suspected of having breached the criminal law or having indeed been convicted of a criminal offense. The overuse of prison leads to a series of reinforcing challenge in responding appropriately to the social integration need for offenders, whilst also violating the right of those who are innocent. We're still in criminal justice reform. We are right now in the sixth round. It's about the restorative justice, which will renew justice in the an approach to criminal offending, which involves the victim, the offender, their social network, justice agencies, and the communities. Renewed justice programs are based on the fundamental principle that criminal behavior not only violated the law but also injures victim and the community. It hurt or harm the victim and the community as whole. Any effort to address the consequence of criminal behavior should, where possible, involve the offender as well as injured parties, whilst also providing the help and support that the victim and offender require. Okay, so we are in this section which about the promotion and protection of human rights. So the Charter of the United Nations includes an obligation to prompt universal respect and observance of human rights. Resolution 51/12 of the Commission on Narcotic Drugs, which relate to drugs, illicit drugs, reaffirmed the importance of countering the world drug problem. Countering the world drug problem in multilateral setting with full respect for all human rights and fundamental freedom, and request the United Nations on drug crimes work closely with the United Nations human rights agencies in the endeavor. In his subsequent note, the government bodies of the United Nations on drug crime, entitled Drug Control, Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice, a human rights perspective, the United Nations on drug crime executive director indicate a way forward to further mainstreaming of human rights in the work of the office. Building on this foundation, the paper entitled United Nations on Drug Crimes Perspective on Promotion and Protection of Human Rights is intended to articulate the United Nations on drug crimes perspective on the promotion and protection of human rights as part of the work of the office. The United Nations standards and norms in crime prevention and criminal justice. So the work of the United Nations in crime prevention and criminal justice reform is guided by the United Nations standards and norms on crime prevention and criminal justice. The United Nations standards and norms are a set of non-binding rules, principles, and guidelines relating to different aspects of criminal justice. Most of the United Nations standards and norms are resolutions adopted by the General Assembly or the European and Social Council. Thematic programs and projects on crime prevention and criminal justice. The Thematic program provides for the strategic framework for the United Nations on drug crimes. Works, especially that of the Justice section on crime prevention and criminal justice reform. It represents the United Nations on drug crimes mandate and to assist countries in developing new instruments, strategies, policies, and programs for crime prevention and criminal justice reform, and present the tools and services that the United Nations on drug crimes can provide to state and non-state actors. Statistic and surveys. So apart from the normative and operational works, United Nations on drug crimes also conduct research in the areas of crime prevention and criminal justice, which are crime statistic, crime victimization surveys, United Nations surveys on crime trend, and the operation of criminal justice system. Okay, we came to the end of this this topic, and so the last slide here, I have placed some link about further information on this topic. So if you are interested for further information, please feel free to go to one of these links and you will get more information about this topic. I would like to thank you so much for your listening and patience, and I will see you sometime very soon. Take care. Bye for now.